mega successful seasons. Can you believe that? We are thinking about the same show. Arrow has secured a golden place in our hearts as fans, but we have thousands of questions now. Will we get another season with an impeccable storyline? Will the show be renewed? Heck, what potential faces will we get to see? Well, stay with us until the end, as we have some really great news to share with you. Recap. The show premiered in the United States on the CW back on October 10, 2012, and it was developed by Greg Berlanti, Marc Guggenheim, and Andrew Kreisberg. The story follows billionaire playboy Oliver Queen, who has spent 5 years on a mysterious island in the North China Sea before coming back home to Starling City, ready to fight crime and corruption as a secret vigilante. Anyway, let's jump for a second on the last season. As critics would say, this season wasn't perfect, something close to the quality of season 5. But there were a few things that held it back, especially in the last 2 episodes. The last season of the show surprisingly stayed true to what the show was at heart by setting up Oliver Queen's grand send-off in Crisis and really harkening on the dark past of him and his legacy. One of the main reasons why the season was great is that it didn't repeat mistakes that the past seasons have made. Lack of drama or a huge improvement. Most of the drama in the 8th season came from our hero accepting his death in Crisis and how his legacy will continue. Many of us were wondering how the show would handle its final 2 episodes, given the fact that its main protagonist was killed off twice. Most of us have presumed that Oliver would be miraculously resurrected, but that's not what happens at all. And that's why we cannot compare this show with any other superhero series. Arrow uses its final moments to share something most superhero stories never bother with telling. What comes afterward when the fighting's done and when the suits are put away. Arrow makes no efforts to undo what has come before, which is perhaps the most surprising turn of events. The leading character is really most sincerely dead. No takebacks and no false starts. His sacrifice resurrects many previously dead characters, from Quentin Lance and Myra Queen to Oliver's half-sister Emiko and Tommy Merlin, giving them a second shot. His funeral brings back many of our favorites from the show's last seasons: The Flash's Barry Allen, Supergirl's Kara Zor-El, Legends of Tomorrow's Sara Lance, and Oliver's sister Thea, and the grown-up version of his daughter. The final of the previous season of Arrow focused on Oliver Queen's funeral, the hero having died 2 episodes earlier, and summoned characters from the past, present, and future. Indeed, Oliver himself returned in a flashback to the events of the show's first season, although having departed life as the Green Arrow. It is explained that Oliver sacrificed his life in the latest crossover to not only restart the universe, but also to resurrect many of the people he had lost in the past 8 years. At least, the complicated romance between Roy and Oliver's sister Thea had a happy ending. And of course, the much-loved romance between Oliver and Felicity was left on an unexpected happy note after they reunited forever in the afterlife.
You're locked. They'll take your blades from you once you're through them.
Release date. Arrow is definitely one of the best series ever released by CW, with a really huge fan base following throughout the globe. The series has 8 very successful seasons, but we know that many of you are eager to know what is coming next, whether we'll be getting another season of Arrow or not. Stephen Amell stated that he is still up to portray the character of Oliver Queen, and that was enough for us. That was the moment when the speculation started. The fans started to speculate that he will be coming back for Arrow Season 9. Well, it's understandable. This has been the most successful CW show after all. However, there is still no official release date as of yet, but let's hope that we'll hear the good news soon. Until then, we have a lot to tie up with, to make theories on what might happen or which characters might appear in the next season. Cast. Nothing is over in the superhero world. Despite the fact that we saw Oliver Queen's funeral in the last episode, it is fair to expect that he will be back in the next season, if there is one. As we said before, Stephen Amell will smash that like button and subscribe button just like you should, if you haven't done so already. No, really, in all seriousness now, the actor stated that he would like to return as the main protagonist again. So, it's on Greg Berlanti, Marc Guggenheim, and Andrew Kreisberg to find a way for this to happen. And who else might expect to appear? Of course, Cassidy as Laurel Lance, former girlfriend of Oliver Queen, based on the DC Comics character of the same name. Talking with Collider about her character, she said, I think that she's very, very driven, and she has a huge heart. She's sensitive. She really has strong morals and values, and she expects everybody to live up to them the way that she does. Can you imagine the 9th season without this character? Colin Donnell as Oliver's best friend Tommy Berlin, David Ramsey in the role of John Diggle, Willa Holland as Thea Queen, Susanna Thompson as Myra Queen, Paul Blackthorne as Quentin Lance, and many more. First look and plot details. Fade Out, or Season 8's final episode, isn't just about wrapping up on the journey of Oliver Queen, however, but also about everything he leaves behind. The story of the series may have begun with one man, but it ends with a crew of heroes who are dedicated enough and ready to pick up Oliver's bow. The story doesn't end with Oliver after all. When the show premiered, almost no one included could have ever imagined where it would end up. It started as the tale of a selfish playboy with a mask and fancy technology, but ends as a tale of redemption and self-sacrifice. This story serves as an object lesson in what superhero television can both do and be, especially the season finale, which is as much about looking forward as it is about looking back. Oliver's gone, and that's a tragedy, but he left a whole lot of heroes, and that's no small thing. There are a few theories on how Oliver Queen could return back in Season 9. The first one would be returning back as a Spectra. It was quite interesting to see Oliver Queen take on the mantle of another DC superhero. That was an interesting change. The same actor portrayed the role of the Spectra in the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. He then used his newfound powers and abilities to fight the Anti-Monitor. This option makes the most sense. Rather than making the actor return as the same character, they gave him a new angle to explore. Oliver Queen as the Spectra would be a good change of pace for the show. The story could revolve around the reason behind Oliver Queen's return. Arrow Season 9 would show Oliver Queen with an air of mystery around him. There is one more crazy theory. So, if getting an Oliver Queen from the past is not an option, what about propelling him into the future? And what do you think about a merge with Green Arrow and the Canaries? Oliver Queen travels to the future to team up with his daughter Mia Smoak. Interesting plot, isn't it? This is a good idea, since this would mean an entirely new set of supporting characters and new supervillains. On a related note, what do you think of the Season 8 finale? Did you expect an ending like that? Do you expect that Oliver Queen will return for another season? Which of the mentioned actors should return? And what are your suggestions? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss our next videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.